Welcome to KOIN 6 News at noon. I'm Jenny Hansen.
And I'm Ken Body. The funeral processional for Seaside Police Sergeant Jason Gooding just wrapped up. Now people are getting ready for his memorial service in Seaside. The motorcade processional ran from Camp Rylea along Highway 101 along the coast to Seaside. You can see people line the streets to honor Sergeant Gooding.
Sergeant Gooding was shot and killed last Friday when he was serving a warrant on Philip Ferry. Now, Ferry was also shot and killed by police. Sergeant Gooding was 39 years old. He leaves behind a wife and 2 daughters. Sergeant Gooding went to high school in Sherwood and later graduated from Portland State. Today, flags in Oregon are flying at half-staff to honor Sergeant Gooding's sacrifice.
We have been following this story from the beginning last week. We've got team coverage for you today as Sergeant Gooding is honored. Cor Harlan has been talking with people in Seaside as they remember a man who died to protect them. But first, Lisa Bailey, live at the Seaside Convention Center where Gooding's public memorial will be held. Lisa?
Yeah, hi, Ken. It's a beautiful day out here. The rain stopped, the sun is finally out, and there are still hundreds of police vehicles arriving here. It is a day of mourning, though, in Seaside. No question about it. We have talked to many people. Everyone seems to have known Sergeant Gooding. Now, there are public buildings are shut down here today. Many businesses we found are closed. I've seen hundreds of police and firefighters, not just from around Oregon, but from around the country here as well. Chicago, Denver, New York, who arrived to show love and support for Sergeant Gooding and his family, his wife and 2 daughters in 4th grade and 6th grade. Sergeant Gooding is among 8 officers who have been shot in the line of duty already just this year.
They did everything right, and it still turned out wrong. People are just, anymore, they're not afraid to take on law enforcement. It makes no difference. There's no respect for life.
Now, Oregon Governor Kate Brown will present Sergeant Gooding's wife the Medal of Ultimate Sacrifice at the tribute. The memorial, by the way, this will be a packed house here at Seaside at the Convention Center. The memorial will also be seen at various places around town, movie theaters, bowling alleys as well. Everyone here seems to have known Sergeant Gooding. He was here for 13 years, and as Ken mentioned, he is from Portland, grew up in Sherwood, well-liked, well-loved by so many people. Now, one thing we want to tell you about as well, I've noticed that there are a lot of officers from around Oregon who are here in the streets. They tell me that they are covering for the officers who normally would be out here and the firefighters so they can be inside for the memorial. We'll have much more coming up, and we're going to be presenting that to you live coming up when it starts at 1 o'clock. Live in Seaside, Lisa Bailey, KOIN 6 News.
All right, thank you, Lisa. And stick with KOIN 6 News for continuing coverage of Sergeant Gooding's memorial. We will be covering that memorial live right here on KOIN 6. It's supposed to start at 1 o'clock, also on KOIN.com. And you can find out more about Sergeant Gooding from our past stories on KOIN.com.
As you may imagine, the town of Seaside is essentially coming to a standstill today.
And for people who live in Seaside, the loss of Officer Gooding has been very personal. Cor Harlan is live now in Seaside with more on the community's reaction. Cor?
Well, Ken and Jenny, this is a small town's worst fear. Not only was Sergeant Jason Gooding a respected police officer here in Seaside, he was a good friend to a lot of people here in Seaside who have suffered a tremendous loss. In the shadow of the huge American flag hanging over Broadway in downtown Seaside, Catherine Smith is in mourning. She's run the Bridge Tender Tavern for more than 40 years here, and when Sergeant Jason Gooding was shot down last week, Catherine lost more than a cop who occasionally helped her out. She says she lost a friend.
We all feel like it could never happen here, and now that it has, it's completely shattered our sanctity, our security, our safety.
Catherine says Gooding was more than a cop. He was a fixture in the heart of downtown Seaside, someone, she says, who always came running when Catherine needed help.
We always knew he would be here. Now he's not.
On Highway 101 in Seaside, Michelle Hughes didn't know Officer Gooding, but she took time early this morning to pay her respect by planting a flag on the side of the road.
I figured we could bring a flag, and there's been a lot of police coming through, so just wanted to give them their support for keeping our community safe.
And once again, when one of the worst things that can happen in a small community does happen, it's brought out the best in some of its people. People have turned to one another for support. They've become closer. And at the Human Bean coffee stand on Highway 101, owners donated Monday's entire day of sales to Gooding's family that amounted to well over $10,000.
On Monday when we did the whole donation thing, I've never seen anything like that before here. Everyone was coming. We had cars lined up all day.
That's the sentiment here. The town of Seaside is filled with hundreds and hundreds of people here today, but there is a very empty feeling in the streets. Ken, Jenny?